Hi, welcome to Cooking Classic. I'm Kim McLendon here at the Palaniti Culinary Institute, and I'm paired with Chef Robert Orosco. How are you doing today?
How are you doing, Chef Kim?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for being a guest here in the kitchen with us today. And Chef Rob, you have a vast knowledge of culinary arts. You are a graduate here of the Culinary Institute, and you also own your own restaurant. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my restaurant, it's more of a humble thing. It's like a comfort food. Everything's under $20, but we do everything from scratch.
Wow,
Desserts,
that's great.
potatoes, we pickle our beets, make our own homemade applesauce. We do everything.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, Chef, what are you going to be creating for us today?
Well, today I'm going to do a riff on an Oscar, but it's going to be like a Black Forest filet. It's going to be topped with crab meat, asparagus, roasted potatoes, and I'm going to make a unique hollandaise sauce without any butter or cream.
Wow, that sounds delicious. So it's kind of like a gourmet surf and turf a little bit.
Exactly.
Sounds great. Well, when we come back, Chef Rob is going to be creating this wonderful meal for us. We'll be right back on Cooking Classic. Welcome back to Cooking Classic. I'm Kim McLendon in the kitchen with Chef Rob. And Chef Rob, you are going to get us started on this decadent meal today. So what is the first step that we're going to do to create this gourmet meal?
Well, Chef Kim, I thought I'd start with potatoes because that takes a little bit longer.
Okay.
You've got to cook them at about 400 degrees for about a half an hour.
Okay.
And so we want to get that show on the road.
Okay, all right. So what are we going to do first here?
Well, I have some Peruvian purples, some yellow potatoes, some red. I like a little different variety of color, contrast, textures. These are a little firmer. These are a little creamier. I just like the way those taste.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. It looks really good.
So we're just gonna do a simple wedge. Nothing too extravagant.
Okay.
But I like the color, and I think that,
Definitely, I love to use different potatoes because I think it does add a lot of color. It does add a lot of variance to that dish.
Well, you eat with your eyes.
That's true.
So if you got like a dull colored plate, then you're probably in for a dull colored meal.
That's true, very true. It looks good.
So I'm just gonna take these potatoes and I'm gonna toss them with a little extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Kosher salt. black pepper.
Now, is this something that you create in your restaurants?
I like to do a lot of different types of potatoes.
Okay.
And I like to use kosher salt. I feel like the other one, it's just a little too salty, if you will. So
okay.
I like to use that one.
Okay, great.
And I'm not going to do any cracked black pepper today, but I have a nice heavier grind here.
Okay.
And I just keep tossing them so that everything incorporates.
Okay.
Just going to use a little granulated garlic because I think that when you use fresh garlic, it has a tendency to burn. It's just my opinion.
Good kitchen tip. No, good kitchen tip.
And I think I forgot about this little fella. This is pretty simple, Kim. You just take this, a little olive oil, toss in the pan. Make sure you're seasoned all throughout.
Okay.
Slip in a 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes.
Oh, great. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay.
So now what are we going to get started with?
Then we're going to do this yellow pepper hollandaise.
Okay.
Now, I like this yellow pepper hollandaise. I got turned on to it by this lady in Hazleton. There's no eggs, there's no butter. You can use nuke fatal cream cheese.
Okay.
All you have to do is take some yellow or red or whatever kind of peppers you want, steam them up a little bit. You can steam them in the microwave, you can steam them in a pan, however you want to do it.
Okay.
And you use all the basic components of a standard hollandaise.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to add a little fresh tarragon because I feel like we want to add a little béarnaise.
Let's switch places with you here. Okay. So would you say that this is kind of more of a low-fat hollandaise
Much
sauce?
lower fat.
Okay.
Much lower fat, and in addition, you're not like worried about time and temperature abuse with like
Good
eggs.
tip.
You're not worried about your yolks separating. And honestly, you can just kind of throw everything in there and walk away.
Wow. Okay.
So you want like a little bit of heat there, so you have the cayenne.
Okay.
You want about a teaspoon of Dijon.
Okay.
Maybe a tablespoon.
Okay.
I like a little of that.
That's okay.
All right, and that's that. We're gonna have a little bit of white pepper.
And the white pepper, that's interesting, just to kind of keep that color variance? Or...
Yeah, well, you're not really gonna see the yellow. You're gonna be more focused on that.
Okay.
I like a little bit of the fresh lemon juice. Make sure to take the seeds out.
Okay. Now, maybe perhaps if you don't have fresh lemon, could you use the bottled lemon, or you think that'd kind of change that flavor a little bit?
You could, but I feel that that's gonna make it a little like harsh.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Good
It's
tip.
not gonna be as fresh. If it's a little bit thick, you can add a little bit of water to it.
Oh, okay.
Or you can add a little white wine.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, whatever you want.
Okay.
And I don't even think I need to cut this up, this tarragon. I'm just going to put it in there.
Some fresh
Now,
tarragon.
normally in a classic béarnaise sauce, you'd use the hollandaise sauce, and you'd use the béarnaise. If you do the tarragon reduction, and you reduce that down with some vinegar, shallots, black pepper, so it's like dry, and then you'd add it. It has a very strong flavor. Yes.
When we come back, Chef Rob is going to put together this wonderful gourmet meal for us on Cooking Classic.
Well, I think one of the major advantages, obviously, as many people say, is the financial aspect. We are much less expensive than many of the other institutions, whether it be a 2-year school or a 4-year school. And the quality of education that you get is just as good no matter where you go. The great thing about the program here in Communication Arts at Luzerne County Community College is that we are providing a realistic hands-on approach to the skills that are necessary to get a job in the field. It's really all meant to give you a skill set that's necessary to be successful in your career field. So when you come here to LCCC, you're actually working on the latest equipment, high definition, 4K, the latest in technology, and it gives you the ability to be prepared so that when you graduate with your Associate of Applied Science degree here, you'll be able to go right into an entry-level position and start your career.
I recommend students based on a case-by-case basis. by knowing their personalities, their skill levels, learning a little bit about their backgrounds, what their future goals are, and then trying to guide them to pick a choice that's good for them. Some students come here and what they really need is someone to just believe in them, to guide them. And I think we also do that way above just what goes on in the classroom.
We are able to get to know our students, know their personalities, their likes, dislikes, their interests. I think our degree is very beneficial to students because it's very broad in range.
It's not just coming in here and only learning one thing. You're gaining skill sets in every aspect of the field so that when it actually comes time to get a job, you can go to the future employer and say, I know how to do this, 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 and this, and it makes you much more employable.
Welcome back to Cooking Classic. I'm in the kitchen with Chef Rob. Chef Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. So we are putting together this gourmet meal, and let's talk a little bit about vegetables. So we're going to be making some asparagus and some mushrooms. What are we going to be doing to this asparagus and mushrooms today?
Well, first the asparagus, I'm going to cook them in a little bit of salted water.
Okay, okay.
You want to salt the water. It helps keep your vegetables green.
Okay, good tip.
And you don't want to cook them very, very long.
Okay.
Make sure your water is boiling. Make sure that the asparagus is going to fit into the pot.
Okay, all right.
Ease them in.
Okay. And now also, like Chef Rob, as far as like purchasing asparagus, how do you know that that asparagus is fresh? You just make sure that you're looking for the color, that little bit of snap in the asparagus, or
Bright color.
Okay.
You want to make sure that the ends aren't all wrinkled.
oh, okay, okay.
You want to, it's only going to be like going to cut like a month or so out of the year. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
So you don't really want to be buying asparagus probably in like November. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Because
right.
probably from somewhere
Make sure it's in season.
had a big
Okay.
long trip and probably not going to be very good.
Okay, good tip.
And then we're just going to let that go a couple minutes. I really don't want to let it go too long.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, you can re-thermalize it with a little chicken stock, a little butter, salt and pepper, because those vegetables
good idea.
they're not going to season themselves.
Good
And I go to a lot of restaurants and I think they just like throw them things on the steam table and that's it. It's over.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pull these out and I'm going to shock them in the ice water.
Okay.
It'll halt the cooking process. And then we can reserve them and use them when we're ready for them later.
Oh, great. Okay. Good tip.
Meanwhile, I'm going to start these mushrooms. And I'm getting
Okay.
my pan nice and hot.
Really important to start with the hot pan when you're sauteing the mushrooms.
Yeah, well, otherwise you're going to be steaming it. You're not really going to be cooking it. And you want
Okay.
things to be crisp tender.
Okay.
I have a variety of mushrooms here today. I don't really need all that shallot, but it's okay.
So now, Chef Rob, I do have a question too, because sometimes a lot of folks will ask this. When you're cleaning your mushrooms, is it true you should never submerge them in water, that you should just kind of wipe them off with a clean cloth or a brush?
I just use a damp cloth.
A damp cloth,
If
okay.
you submerge them in water, they're going to be like mushy. They're not going to ever get crisp tender, that golden brown look you're looking for.
Okay.
And that's why I don't do it.
Okay, good tip.
I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil,
Okay.
a pat of butter. If I can get a pat of butter. A little warm here today. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Hear that sizzle? In we go.
And then how long are you going to cook those mushrooms for?
It depends.
Okay.
I want to cook them until they're about golden brown.
Okay.
I like to season them initially.
Okay.
Mushrooms don't have a lot of flavor, really. So they need a little bit of help. I hit them with a little salt and pepper.
Okay.
I'm going to hit them with a little bit of this, well, I don't want to do that.
Little shallot.
The shallot. That's like a nice earthy herb.
Okay.
You could use a little garlic in there if you like.
Okay.
Depends on, what you want to do. Sometimes the garlic will overpower what you're cooking, so maybe you don't want to do that.
Okay. Unless you like garlic, then probably add that in there.
Oh,
Okay.
I like garlic.
I do too. But
All right, so I'm going to let these go a little bit golden brown. And actually, I can probably shut this water down.
okay.
And I like to take a little bit of this Worcestershire and a little bit of the soy, a little bit of sugar. I know it sounds weird, but it gives it that umami flavor, you know what I mean? It's like kind of a savory type thing.
Okay.
So I want to let that go for a little bit.
I'm really intrigued by this mixture that you have in your bowl.
Yeah.
You can add a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Very
I
flavorful.
want to add a little bit more flavor, actually.
Okay.
And if I was at the restaurant, I'd probably use a little bit of cooking sherry, but I don't have the liberty of that, so we're not going to do the cooking sherry.
Okay. So, and you make this dish a lot as well in your restaurant?
Oh yeah, they love mushrooms. Well, this Black Forest filet is kind of indigenous to the Schuylkill region.
Oh, okay.
They love their mushrooms. They like to go the pinkies and the ram's head, like it's like a traditional thing. Some
Okay.
people have secrets, like spots where they get those objects.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Wow, okay.
We're starting to get a little bit of color here.
Great. So I noticed once you get a little bit of color on those mushrooms, then you're just kind of adding in that sauce, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of keep it going.
Okay.
And I just wait and I keep going until all that moisture evaporates for the most part.
Looks great. When we come back, Chef Rob is going to be creating for us that delicious Black Forest filet. Stay tuned to Cooking Classic. Welcome back to Cooking Classic. We are in the kitchen with Chef Rob. Chef Rob, thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. And I'm just anxious to see what we're going to be doing next as far as creating our filet. We're going to be pincer the filet, and we're doing a beurre monte, and we're making that red wine reduction. So what is the first thing that we're going to do?
Well, I think the best thing to do would be start with the filet
Okay.
and the
all
red
right.
wine reduction, because that's going to take the longest amount of time.
Okay.
You want to get a nice good hard sear on there and heat up the pan.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make the beurre monte, which really is just a butter sauce. It's just a French term.
Okay.
It's a simplified butter sauce, a little like a tablespoon of boiling water, and you can add anything anywhere from 4 tablespoons to 1 pound of butter. It'll hold it all. This is the way we do it in the industry. A little salt and pepper, a little flavor first, but you don't like to do it too soon. If you salt your meat too early, it'll never ever get that brown crust.
Okay.
Ever.
Good tip. Very
know?
good tip.
So we're gonna hit a little oil. And if you want a little butter, but I like to finish it that way.
Okay.
So we're
Okay.
gonna go like this. I don't really need that going. And then we're gonna do the red wine reduction while that's searing.
Okay. And again, a little bit of olive
little bit
oil
of olive
we're starting
oil.
with.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're gonna take a shallot. Okay, however you wanna do it.
And now maybe if I didn't want to use a shallot, could I possibly use like maybe a Bermuda onion or a regular onion?
Yeah,
in
something
this?
sweeter.
Okay.
Or I use a red onion sometimes when I don't have a shallot.
Okay.
I just like the shallot, I don't know
Yeah,
why.
good and flavorful.
Yeah, and then I use the back of my knife to slide that in there. If you use the
Okay.
front, you're gonna dull your knife out. And I just wanna like sweat them down a little bit.
Okay.
I don't wanna move the filet. When you see the filet and it's not really moving, that means it's not ready to be flipped.
Oh,
So
okay.
just
Good tip.
let it kind of
Okay.
sit there.
Okay.
Be careful you don't burn your shallots.
Okay.
They're really acrid. All right.
And now also too, Chef Rob, when You know, I see a lot of chefs on TV kind of poking at that filet as they're cooking it. So what are they're feeling for that doneness of the filet?
Add a little bit of red wine here. You can use a Pinot Grigio or
Okay.
a Burgundy wine, something
Okay.
with a deeper flavor. I wouldn't want to use a rosé or anything like that.
Okay.
Or, you know,
Right.
it
Okay.
wouldn't be that good.
Okay.
And you want to make sure, like I said, that nice crust like that.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
We're going to turn this down a little bit. I have some nice beef stock here. And just want to wait till it goes about half. And I'm going to finish this off in the oven.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I got to get that good sear all the way around.
Okay. Kind of seal in those juices, so to speak. Okay.
And as for your other question about the rare, medium well, you go from the softest point in your thumb, rare. The second one, medium rare, medium well. But if you're not sure, just use a thermometer.
Okay.
120 for rare, 130 for medium rare, 140 for medium, and so on and so forth. 160, you're dead. But I mean, if that's the way you like
That's beef jerky, right?
I'll cook it any way they want it. They're paying for it. It's not really my place to judge. If that's the way they like it,
Right.
fine.
Very good. Very good. That looks great. That is coming along nicely. Looks great.
And then I'm going to start this beurre monte.
Okay, so you're just kind of letting that reduce again. So we
Yeah.
added in.
You want to reduce it down to like
Okay.
about half,
Okay.
or a little better if you can.
Okay.
And I want to get a nice sear all the way around on the fillet.
Okay.
And I don't want it to be really, really rare. All right, beurre monte. About a tablespoon of water,
Okay.
and then you want to turn it down almost right away. Add some butter. You really don't want to break it. Just add a little bit at a time.
Okay. So it doesn't matter how much butter you're adding in there.
No.
Okay.
And it's kind of like you have the classic beurre blanc sauce, but that's got shallots and white wine and lemon juice, and I even put a little cream in mine to stabilize it. This is just a simple poaching technique. You're going to put a little flavor. And I'm going to take this and put it in with Mr. Potato,
Okay.
finish it off,
Great in there. Okay.
get the flavor. Now, you don't want to break it, but if you do break it, like, don't be upset. You just
Okay.
add a little bit of water, reduce your heat down again, add some butter, you're good to go.
Wow.
I wouldn't
Great.
I wouldn't be upset about it.
That looks great. So now we just have to give it a little bit of time. Melt all that butter in there.
Yeah.
That
Well,
looks great.
it's
Beautiful.
whisk got a little hot.
Looks great. I like this. It's a nice
You
utensil
gotta
there.
watch out for that. But I just
Looks
keep
good.
adding butter, and I just keep putting it in there. And I just want like a nice creamy, buttery sauce of sorts.
Okay.
It's a simple sauce.
Okay. Now, Chef, I have a question. Are you using a salted butter or an unsalted butter? in
Honestly,
here?
I'm using a salted butter.
Okay.
That's just kind of what I had in my fridge at the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Adds a little bit flavor.
With baking, I use a lot more unsalted butter. But
Okay.
with cooking, I don't worry about it too much.
Okay.
I just don't add the salt.
Right. Okay. Good tip there.
You know,
Good tip there.
you see how it's got that creamy.
Oh yeah, looks great.
You know?
Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful.
And I'm just going to keep reducing this, and I'm going to keep the fillet going.
Okay, looks great. When we come back on Cooking Classic, Chef Rob is going to get ready to plate up this amazing gourmet meal. We will be right back on Cooking Classic.
See you soon.
Make your life better by Degrees. Choose from over 100 academic and career programs. Go to an accredited college at the area's lowest tuition. Earn your degree or transfer your credits to a four-year college or university. Take your life to the next level. Achieve your career goals and reach your fullest potential at
Luzerne County Community College.
back to Cooking Classic. We are in the kitchen with Chef Rob. We are getting ready to plate up this gourmet meal. So Chef Rob, we are almost ready to kind of plate this up. What are the last few stages of our cooking process here?
Well, really all we really need to do is to rethermalize the asparagus.
Okay.
And a little chicken stock, salt, pepper, and some seasoning. Heat up the mushrooms. Finish reducing the red wine sauce. And heat the jumbo lump crab in the butter sauce
All
or
right.
beurre monte.
Okay, so let's get started. So what are we going to do here first?
Well, first we're going to take the crab meat.
Looks good.
We have our potatoes are finished,
Okay,
roasted.
looks good.
Filet is good. Ready to roll.
Okay, looks beautiful. Now, is it important to allow that filet to rest a little?
I do like to let
Okay.
it rest for a couple minutes.
Okay.
I think that's important. It lets the juices redistribute out throughout the meat, and when you cut it, it won't be bleeding all over the place.
Okay.
So I think
Good
that
tip.
is important.
Okay, great.
And when
good
you're
tip.
reheating this, you got to kind of keep it on low. All right.
Okay.
It doesn't take very long, a couple minutes at most. And you can butter poach like lobster. You can do anything you want in there.
Wow.
We're gonna reheat this asparagus.
And I notice you have what, just a little bit of butter in your pan there.
Yeah, a little bit of butter, a little
Okay.
bit of fresh chicken stock, salt and
Okay.
pepper.
Okay.
I think you should treat your vegetables with the same respect as you do your proteins.
Delicious.
There it is.
And there we have it, is our gourmet Black Forest filet.
Black Forest filet.
Looks wonderful. Chef Rob, thank you so much for joining us today in the kitchen and sharing your Black Forest filet recipe with us. I have to say, it looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Join us again on Cooking Classic as we share more wonderful recipes.